I can't argue with those trolls. I am a troll. This is what I do. I get on this bitch and tweet with y'all ass all day, every day. You hear me?
THF Zoo never hid the fact that he was a troll, but that's not the reason he's trending today. He was ambushed and gunned down in Chicago, and his last message to longtime friend Lil Durk might hold a clue to who set him up. Could it have been someone he clowned online? Let's find out. The final hours and the fatal night. October 26, 2025, marks the tragic death of THF Zoo, born Da Vinci Bezu Collier, at age 35. A cornerstone figure in Chicago's drill rap movement and loyal member of Lil Durk's Only the Family collective.
Yo, it's your boy King Yella, man. Bezu was shot 2 times in the chest, man. Yesterday, man. We had people posting like he passed away yesterday.
The shooting happened at approximately 3 a.m. in the 3100 block of South St. Louis Avenue in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood, also known as South Lawndale, a primarily Mexican-American area on the city's southwest side. Zoo was among 3 men targeted in what detectives believe was a premeditated ambush carried out with military-level precision and overwhelming force. Chicago Police Department scanner traffic and witness accounts confirm that the victims were gathered in a parking lot when an unidentified vehicle pulled up and several gunmen opened fire, releasing a relentless wave of bullets that claimed Zoo's life. The scene showed the shocking intensity of the attack. Investigators recovered 20 rifle casings and 19 9mm casings, totaling 39 pieces of ballistic evidence, indicating either an extended exchange of fire or potential return shots from the victim's side. 5 vehicles nearby were riddled with bullets, and forensic teams documented impact marks consistent with high-velocity rifle rounds and pistol-caliber ammunition fired from multiple directions and positions. Zoo suffered multiple gunshot wounds to his torso and abdomen, the placement of which suggested he was deliberately targeted or directly within the line of fire when the shooting began. Paramedics transported him to a nearby hospital, where medical staff worked tirelessly to save his life, but the extent and number of his injuries proved impossible to overcome. He was pronounced dead several hours later, marking another devastating loss for the Chicago drill community and the OTF family as a whole. The other 2 victims, ages 39 and 42, survived the attack with non-life-threatening injuries and were listed in fair condition at local trauma centers. Their identities remain confidential as the investigation continues. Disturbing footage of the aftermath circulated online within hours, though major media outlets declined to verify or share it due to its graphic and distressing content. As of the evening of October 26, 2025, the Chicago Police Department had not named any suspects, made arrests, or released an official motive. Area 4 detectives are continuing to investigate the shooting as a targeted hit amid the persistent wave of violence gripping Chicago's drill and gang-affiliated scenes. The killing adds yet another chapter to the blood-stained history of Chicago's South and West Side neighborhoods, where music rivalries, gang ties, and street disputes often collide with deadly consequences. Zoo's death occurred in Little Village, an area long associated with Latin gang activity, including the 26 Nation and Latin Kings, which makes the setting especially significant given Zoo's Black disciples' ties through THF and OTF networks. The chosen location, far from his usual Englewood and Taytown areas, points to either a meticulously planned setup in a neutral zone or possibly a trap that lured Zoo and his crew into unfamiliar territory where they lacked their usual protection and presence. THF Zoo was deeply connected to Chicago's street landscape through his membership in the Taytown Hustlers family, a subset tied to Black Disciples alliances and directly linked to Lil Durk's Lamron circle under the broader Only the Family umbrella. His image as a man who had survived numerous past shooting attempts, including confirmed incidents in 2022 and prior years, had cemented his reputation as both a battle-tested street veteran and a symbolic target for anyone wanting to weaken OTF's grip on Chicago's underworld. Each time he survived, his name carried greater weight in drill circles, building a myth of invincibility constantly tested by the harsh realities of street life. His music often mirrored that cycle of pain, vengeance, and paranoia, with lyrics reflecting the endless tension of living in neighborhoods where danger hides in plain sight and trust can vanish over turf lines that span only a few blocks. Detectives from Area 4 continue to pursue the case, interviewing witnesses, reviewing surveillance video from nearby homes and businesses, and analyzing ballistic data gathered at the scene. The large volume of shell casings, including both rifle and handgun rounds, points toward either a team of coordinated shooters or a single vehicle packed with multiple armed attackers who opened fire at the same time. Forensic analysts are now working to trace the shell casings and bullets back to specific weapons that might have been used in other local shootings, since firearms tied to gang conflicts often pass through underground markets and reappear across multiple incidents over the years. The news of Zoo's death sparked an immediate explosion of reaction online, especially on X, formerly Twitter, where fans and fellow artists expressed heartbreak and disbelief. Timelines were filled with posts like, "Damn, RIP Bezu," and "They really got Bezu," as the community struggled to come to terms with losing another key figure in the drill movement. Many tributes described him as a real stepper, a term in street culture reserved for those who earned respect through action rather than talk. Others lamented the heavy toll the year had taken, writing messages like, "2025 really ain't a good year for OTF," referencing the group's painful history of losses, from King Von in 2020 to Zoo in 2025. Images and clips from the crime scene spread rapidly across social media despite their graphic nature, with accounts such as adjective Jerry __ posting confirmations like OTF affiliate THF Zoo dead at 35, which were shared thousands of times within hours. The mourning spilled into the digital space, evolving into a virtual memorial where fans, fellow rappers, and street figures came together to grieve, remember, and speculate, all in real time. This public reaction has become a defining trait of modern drill culture, where deaths are broadcast and dissected online before official outlets can even report them, and where sorrow often blends with tension as grief turns into talk of revenge. Zoo's death felt especially significant because of the date. Exactly 1 year earlier, on October 26, 2024, he had publicly defended Lil Durk on Instagram following Durk's arrest on federal murder-for-hire charges. That post, in which Zoo condemned media narratives and praised Durk's loyalty, now feels eerily prophetic, a final gesture of devotion made exactly 12 months before his own killing. The chilling symmetry of that timeline hasn't gone unnoticed. Fans and drill culture watchers alike debate whether it's pure coincidence or symbolic fate. Was Zoo's trolling the reason he met this violent end?
I can't argue with those trolls. I am a troll. This is what I do. I get on this bitch and tweet with y'all ass all day, every day. You hear me?
This reflected his deep understanding of how online culture operates and his readiness to participate in digital confrontations that often blurred the boundary between entertainment and actual danger. In contrast, Zoo's relatives and those close to his circle have centered their public remarks on mourning his passing and asking for privacy, avoiding speculation about any final conversations or hidden messages. Officials from the Chicago Police Department and the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office have kept a measured and professional tone in all statements, refusing to comment on potential motives or share sensitive evidence that could jeopardize the investigation. The medical examiner has scheduled a full autopsy to confirm the exact cause and manner of death, catalog every injury, and preserve forensic data that could later assist prosecutors in connecting the suspects to the crime. While such reports often take several weeks before public release, what remains immediately clear is the strength of the lifelong bond between THF Zoo and Lil Durk, a partnership born from Chicago's Southside drill scene and strengthened through shared struggles within the Only the Family collective, which Durk grew from a neighborhood crew into a nationally recognized label and movement. Their relationship spanned more than 10 years, a mixture of personal loyalty proven through violence, jail time, and countless moments of mutual defense, as well as musical collaboration that generated millions of streams and solidified their shared identity. To fully understand their dynamic, one must look into the streets and environments that shaped them long before fame. Both men were raised in Englewood and nearby Southside areas marked by high poverty, school closures, boarded-up homes, and the ever-present influence of street organizations that dictated safety and survival. Zoo hailed from Taytown, home base of the Taytown Hustlers family, the set that birthed the THF name and maintained close ties to Durk's Lamron crew. Together, they formed part of the larger Black Disciples Network, a sprawling structure controlling numerous blocks across Chicago's south and west sides, held together by alliances but divided by internal rivalries and long-standing conflicts with opposing GD sets and smaller neighborhood crews. These alliances and oppositions shaped who was considered friend or foe, creating unspoken codes of loyalty, retaliation, and survival that only those raised within could truly understand. Zoo and Durk's connection stretched back to before Durk's breakout years between 2011 and 2013, the era when his mixtapes began generating major industry interest and positioning him as one of the leading faces of Chicago drill beside Chief Keef and Lil Reese. At that same time, Zoo was already embedded in both street life and the early drill movement, appearing in local ciphers, lending verses to underground projects traded on burned CDs and file-sharing sites, and solidifying his reputation through both public music and private street legend. Their pre-fame relationship gave them a level of trust and authenticity that no business deal could replicate, a loyalty built on shared hardship, not convenience. As one unnamed insider put it in a 2023 interview, Zoo wasn't just part of a label, that was family before the fame, before the money. That bond came from the block, not the booth. This distinction holds deep importance in grasping the full emotional weight of Zoo's death for Durk, not just as a professional blow, but as a personal tragedy rooted in brotherhood. Zoo was never just a team member or signed act. He embodied what family means in Chicago street culture, where chosen bonds outweigh blood ties and disloyalty can cost a person far more than freedom. Within that world, loyalty serves as both shield and chain, offering protection but also binding participants to cycles of violence they can rarely escape without facing condemnation or retaliation. Zoo's standing within OTF identified him not as a corporate signee but as a foundational street representative, someone whose presence symbolized authenticity and roots rather than contractual obligation. His participation came from genuine connection and shared struggle, not from label negotiations or business incentives. He appeared prominently across OTF compilation albums, most notably the 2019 project Family Over Everything, where his rugged tone and raw street lyricism captured the harsh realities of survival and earned him recognition as one of the collective's most respected voices. These group releases fulfilled several vital purposes: generating revenue for the collective, keeping OTF musically visible during transitional phases, providing platforms for lesser-known affiliates, and showcasing the movement's unity and evolving sound. Zoo's standout moment arrived with 2023's Nightmares in the Trenches, a project that positioned him at the forefront as lead artist on several tracks illustrating his growth, perspective, and emotional depth. The title itself symbolized more than street danger. It represented the unseen scars left by years of survival, sleepless nights, haunting memories of gunfire, and the paranoia of knowing safety never truly exists. Through the project's vivid imagery and sincere delivery, Zoo offered listeners an uncensored look into the psychological aftermath of life in the trenches. Each verse felt lived in, echoing the experiences of those navigating similar environments while rejecting the polished narratives of mainstream rap. One standout song, Trench Baby, embodied Zoo's entire creative identity and reflected his seamless chemistry with Lil Durk. On Trench Baby, Zoo opened with a blistering verse full of unfiltered street confessions, setting the tone and emotional baseline, while Durk closed the track by bridging those experiences to broader reflections about fame, loss, and resilience, transforming it from a collaboration into a dialogue between two survivors. The accompanying music video surpassed 2.1 million views on YouTube, a testament to the audience's appetite for genuine drill storytelling featuring under-recognized voices alongside established figures. Its visuals stayed loyal to the genre's aesthetic: real neighborhood settings, coded hand gestures, and nocturnal filming that conveyed the tension and secrecy embedded in their lives. Zoo's unwavering defense of Lil Durk during the October 2024 federal murder-for-hire case further solidified his loyalty. When many distanced themselves to avoid implication, Zoo was among the first to publicly stand by Durk, denouncing false narratives online. Prosecutors alleged Durk's involvement in the 2022 killing of surveyor Lou Pab Robinson, cousin of Quando Rondo, in retaliation for the 2020 murder of King Von, linking the tragedy back to the ongoing cycle of vengeance within the drill scene. The indictment carried the potential for a life sentence and underscored how federal authorities were increasingly turning to RICO laws and conspiracy frameworks to prosecute drill artists whose lyrics and online personas appeared to mirror or document real-world criminal behavior. On October 26, 2024, precisely 1 year before his own killing, Zoo shared an Instagram story defending Durk against sensational coverage and public gossip. He wrote, "Social media, fake fans, bloggers, you'll love labeling people with titles that ain't proven. You build fake pictures, then act surprised when the math don't match. Free the real." The post directly countered portrayals of Durk as a criminal mastermind, reminding followers that accusations aren't convictions. By speaking out so publicly, Zoo risked renewed scrutiny from investigators and potential exposure to federal monitoring, yet he chose loyalty over silence. He tagged Durk, included #FreeDurk, and allowed his message to circulate through fan pages and drill culture outlets, ensuring his defense reached the widest possible audience. Zoo's reputation as both a survivor and an authentic street presence gave that statement extra weight. He bore visible reminders of past ambushes. Court documents showed several arrests and even a dismissed murder charge, cementing his image as someone who endured what others merely rapped about. That record of hardship and resilience lent credibility to his words in ways polished industry figures could not match. His defense of Durk came from lived loyalty, not branding. Fans respected that distinction. During a 2023 No Jumper segment, Zoo addressed topics spanning Chicago's drill ecosystem, loyalty codes, and artistry. While his remarks about Durk were brief in that clip, a longer roundtable titled THF Zoo, Duty Low and Die Ski on OTF, Lil Durk, King Von, Beating Bodies, Nightmares in the Trenches offered a far richer glimpse of his mindset. Roughly 1 hour and 5 minutes into that discussion, Zoo praised Durk's evolution from neighborhood figure to industry leader, saying in essence, "Durk built this from the ground up. He made sure we could all eat. That's real." The full episode, running over an hour and topping 500,000 views, illuminated OTF's internal chemistry, their collaborative method, and the family-style trust holding the camp together through legal and personal crises. The conversation revealed a collective built on shared purpose rather than manufactured partnerships, artists working side by side in studios, feeding off one another's ideas, and grounding the brand in authenticity. Zoo also recounted parts of his own legal saga, describing how jail time forged deeper ties among members. Around the 6-minute 30-second mark, he recalled, "We were innocent, and we proved it. We walked into county together, hit bond court the same day. 3 months later we were living on the same deck." That moment captured the brotherhood behind the headlines, a loyalty written not just in music but in survival itself. This account added depth to the understanding of how facing serious legal peril together, enduring the same uncertainty, confinement, and fight for exoneration, welded OTF members into a brotherhood far beyond standard industry partnerships. The interview provided Zoo a platform to elaborate on his personal code: loyalty that doesn't fade with fame, authenticity that outlives trends, and the duty of artists to lift up those who believed in them from day one. The tragedy, the symbolism, and the lingering mystery. The killing of THF Zoo on October 26, 2025, aligns with long-standing patterns in Chicago's drill culture, where lyrical rivalries, territorial disputes, and personal vendettas routinely spiral into deadly outcomes. To date, Chicago police officials have released no suspect names, filed no arrests, and announced no confirmed motive, though Area 4 detectives continue to treat the case as a deliberate ambush tied to ongoing street conflicts. The city's staggering homicide count, surpassing 500 before the close of October 2025, has overwhelmed investigators, forcing triage where only the clearest or most publicized cases receive sustained attention and dedicated resources. Understanding possible motives requires mapping the tangled network of alliances, grudges, and revenge cycles that define Chicago's south and west sides. Zoo's ties to THF, the Taytown Hustlers family, placed him firmly within the Black Disciples organizational web, navigating rivalries with opposing BD sets, gangster disciples, and smaller neighborhood factions locked in constant battles for control, money, and recognition. His history of surviving multiple ambushes made him both a resilient target and a symbolic trophy, proof of dominance to those eager to reclaim respect or avenge fallen allies. Online speculation and street chatter, none corroborated by police or verified reporting, have spawned numerous theories circulated across X and Drill commentary pages. The leading rumor attributes the shooting to possible retaliation from a Black Disciple subset known as Bashville Crazy, operating near 71st and Wabash in Greater Grand Crossing, allegedly connected to a convoluted chain of revenge killings. According to that unconfirmed account, a THF affiliate nicknamed TP was slain following a dispute involving stolen property from a rival's hotel room after a video shoot, allegedly sparking a revenge hit carried out by a figure known as Man, linked to Bashville or an allied set. In response, THF members purportedly retaliated by killing Man, igniting another turn in the cycle, with Zoo's October 26th ambush rumored to be retribution for that death, striking at one of THF's most visible members to broadcast strength and vengeance. This storyline, though unproven, gained traction online with users commenting that THF made it too obvious, pointing to public disses and years of hostility as likely accelerants. The theory's persistence illustrates how digital rumor mills transform unverified claims into accepted narratives within street and fan communities. Whether Bashville affiliates actually orchestrated the attack or whether the chain of retaliations ever occurred remains impossible to confirm without law enforcement validation. Still, the rumor's internal logic mirrors the way tit-for-tat violence typically operates in Chicago's gang matrix, where every loss demands repayment. Other speculations tie Zoo's murder to broader rivalries involving Quando Rondo Circle or even GS9 associate from New York, indirect echoes of the conflict stemming from King Von's 2020 death. Zoo's 2024 defense of Durk amid his federal indictment only deepened those layers of loyalty, politics, and risk that shaped the fatal chain of events. Charges arising from the alleged 2022 killing of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lul Pab, believed to be retaliation for Von's 2020 murder, may have intensified existing online conflicts or positioned Zoo as a potential target for those loyal to Rondo or carrying lingering animosities. However, the execution style and setting of the attack in Chicago's Little Village strongly point toward local involvement rather than outside actors, since such operations typically require insider access, territorial familiarity, and knowledge of a target's daily movements that distant rivals would struggle to obtain. Some online discussions argue that Durk's federal imprisonment weakened the protective structure that once shielded affiliated street units through his influence, money, and mediation abilities. Posts circulated with claims like Durk was the one feeding and guarding them, suggesting his absence opened space for opportunistic assaults by rivals such as STLEBT, another BD branch, or opposing GD sets with long-standing friction against THF. This interpretation frames Zoo's murder not as a response to a singular event but as an exploitation of temporary instability, though it remains conjecture without verified links to any specific organization. Zoo's lyrical catalog may have compounded tensions, as his diss records and verses occasionally took direct aim at adversaries, keeping conflicts alive through musical provocation. While investigators have not credibly connected any one track to his killing, songs like Nightmares in the Trenches and other F-affiliated projects often contain pointed disses and coded messages recognizable to those within the culture, walking the fine line between realism and plausible deniability. Drill's ecosystem blurs art and reality, transforming personal disputes into lyrical warfare that perpetuates genuine bloodshed, with tracks memorializing fallen allies, mocking opponents, and serving as circumstantial evidence in indictments. This cycle turns music into both a survival tool and a potential death warrant. The notion that Zoo's murder was random or unrelated to street politics seems improbable considering ballistic evidence. 39 casings recovered, multiple vehicles hit, and a precision-style ambush, though investigators have not ruled out alternate explanations. The Little Village setting, historically dominated by Latino gangs rather than BD networks tied to Zoo, raises curiosity about what drew him there at 3 a.m. Possible scenarios range from neutral ground business meetings or romantic encounters to setups orchestrated by rivals aware of his location and vulnerabilities. To grasp the full weight of Zoo's killing, it must be situated within Chicago's enduring cycle of drill-fueled violence. Although the city's homicide count has dropped from the catastrophic highs of the 1990s, it still ranks among America's deadliest urban centers, with most shootings concentrated in the same South and West Side neighborhoods where Zoo built his name. Drill's emergence in the early 2010s, spearheaded by artists like Chief Keef, Lil Durk, and others, blurred entertainment with street documentation, with music videos filmed in active war zones and lyrics directly naming rivals. What began as local storytelling evolved into a global phenomenon that prosecutors now scrutinize for self-incriminating material. Increasingly, authorities argue that drill artists confess to or promote real crimes under the guise of music, while artists counter that their lyrics reflect lived realities, not criminal conspiracies. This ongoing clash between artistic freedom and legal accountability underscores how the very culture that made Zoo a voice of his generation also placed him within a system eager to interpret expression as evidence. Durk's ongoing federal prosecution underscores this evolving pattern, with authorities framing FS musical content and online interactions as proof of an organized criminal structure rather than a creative collective. Zoo's own life reflected the trap-like repetition of violence, showing how hard it is to break free from the codes and habits formed in adolescence. Born on September 26, 1990, he came up in Chicago's notorious Cabrini Green housing projects on the near North Side, a community long defined by poverty, territorial disputes, and institutional neglect before being gradually demolished in the 2000s. Zoo frequently likened his upbringing to living in a combat zone, describing how early exposure to danger and scarcity forged his instincts for survival. By his teens, he was already engulfed in street life, admitting during interviews that he viewed crime not as rebellion but as necessity, a means to eat, protect himself, and access resources unavailable through legitimate paths. He openly acknowledged learning to fight, steal, and navigate rivalries at a young age, absorbing lessons from an environment where toughness was currency and violence, a language of respect. Years before rap offered even a glimpse of redemption, Zoo's early hardships shaped the hardened image that would define his persona. His music and interviews consistently emphasized themes of family loyalty, survival, and responsibility, portraying him as both protector and provider in a life constantly shadowed by danger. He was the older brother to fellow rappers Gouda and Muki, both active in Chicago's underground drill movement, with Zoo guiding their creative efforts and helping them maneuver through the same volatile streets that raised him. He fathered 7 children, often expressing pride in his role as a dad while admitting the painful contradictions between nurturing his family and living within a violent cycle that threatened to separate him from them. His 2014 arrest at Lil Durk's home for the alleged 2009 murder of Dominic Barnes, a reputed rival, marked a pivotal moment. Though acquitted, the case publicly tied his name to THF affiliations and exposed how closely his personal and professional lives were entangled with serious criminal narratives. After his release, Zoo continued living under probationary oversight, with unverified rumors of violations surfacing in 2023 but no confirmed arrests before his death 2 years later. Over the years, he survived multiple assassination attempts, including well-documented 2022 shootings connected to THF rivalries, each near miss further solidifying his mythic stature in the drill community. To his fans and peers, Zoo represented authenticity, someone whose music wasn't fabricated theater but the lived account of a man who endured everything he rapped about. Yet those same experiences underscored the relentless danger that comes with real-life credibility in environments where scores are never forgotten and vengeance can wait years to be delivered. Each attempt on his life served as both warning and prophecy, culminating in the October 2025 ambush that ended his story, a grim reminder that in Chicago's drill reality, survival often comes with an expiration date.